Hi everyone! I'm very excited to share with you today some behind the scenes look on my illustration process for Saving Wānanga. It's a story of the rescue of a kea. They're beautiful and very clever, like they can solve puzzles, they can work together to achieve a mission, and they really like to undo all the screws on your cars. The first thing I do is to draw the draft. I've got my storyboard right next to me to keep everything on track. I usually start with a regular pencil or sometimes a colored one, like blue, depending on the feel I'm going for. Once the drawing's done, I go over it with a soft eraser, just lightening the lines so they blend smoothly with my colors. I leave just enough so I can see where to go next. Now and then I use a bit of masking gum. If you're not familiar with this, masking gum is like a temporary barrier that keeps paint off certain areas. Like it's handy for little details I want to keep white. I apply it with an old brush, one that's fully sacrificed to the cause. While the masking gum dries, I'll either drink my tea, which, let's be honest, is always cold by then, or I can start drawing another page. Batching the illustrations this way is a nice way to keep things moving. Here's one of the illustrations. It's a scene inside the caravan where the scientist lives while she studies the keys. For buildings, I like to start with the shadows first. It helps me figure out the three-dimensional shapes before I go in with colors and lights. I'm using a flat brush here and my favorite very well-loved homemade palette. Once I'm onto the colors, I don't really clean my palette between sections on the same page. I keep the leftover colors to help blend everything together for a nice unified look. I know it can be a little bit messy, but I'll definitely clean it between pages. Here's the night scene outside the caravan. For this one I used masking gum for the tiny stars in the sky and to create some kind of texture in the fence up front. So when I paint over it, the gum protects the paper underneath, keeping it white. After it's dry, I can scrub the gum away and the spot under is white, and then I can leave it white or paint over it. Here we're gonna paint over. When the main painting is done, I like to go with colored pencils to add some finishing touches, little highlight or sharper lines. I stick to the same two brands that I love and trust. Then comes the boring part, like scanning everything, balancing the colors on Photoshop. Scanning watercolor can be a bit of a mission, honestly, but yeah, I still prefer to work with watercolor anyway. I repeat this whole process for each page, and if there are small illustrations, I sometimes crop them together on the same paper. It saves time and paper, which is always a plus. Here we are, that's the end of this video. Thanks for joining me on this little journey behind the scenes. I hope you had a good time. If you have any question, just let me know in the comments. Stay tuned for more art and inspiration, and I'll see you next time.